Hello everyone, it's Tango here. Today I'm going to be playing Train Simulator and I'm planning to drive the West Coast Main Line today. I downloaded the West Coast Main Line Trent Valley route a while ago and I've decided now it's time to make a video about the Class 350 Desiro that comes with this route. So let's find it. It may be in the standard section. There, here we go, West Coast Main Line, Trent Valley. So, what one we're going to do today? I want to do one with the Class 350. There's a range that come with this route, so you get some with the 350 and some with the Class 66, which comes with the route as well. But I want to drive the Class 350. So, here we go, limited stop express between Rugby and Stafford, with only one intermediate stop at Nuneaton. It's a typically wet spring day in the Midlands, which is where I am right now. So let's, oh, hang on, okay, we're alright. Let's dive straight in. So, as with my previous video, the loading screen takes quite a long time. So let's talk a bit about the routes. So this is the West Coast Main Line Trent Valley bypass essentially. So this is a bit newer than the rest of the West Coast Main Line, and it was built to alleviate pressure on the main route, which goes through Birmingham. Now this route is 4-track for most of it, to allow capacity for passenger sort of short distance regional traffic on the outer lines, stopping at the intermediate stations such as Nuneaton and Tamworth, and these places all get 350 service. That's what we're going to be doing today, and then the Pendolinos go down the fast tracks in the middle, going up to the north of England and Scotland. So we're going to be driving a route that kind of stops at some of the small stations but not all of them. These scenarios don't come with any 390s, that's the Pendolinos driving down the route at the same time, which is kind of annoying because I have the 390 installed, but it's not part of this scenario. So here we go, driver, Birmingham service is ahead of us. We will follow this train into Rugby, please proceed with caution. So let's do that. So we need to go into forward, turn off the AWS, and then let's get some power in here. We also need some wipers. That's not wipers. Oh, it's warning me of the yellow light. I've got to remember which control is for wipers. I should be able to control it manually if I can find the wiper control. There we go. I have not played this in a long time, so I don't remember the keyboard shortcuts, but that's okay. We can do without them. Let's whack this up to full power, even though we're on a yellow light. Actually, yeah, drop it back to 4. So we've got about 0.8 miles until the next signal, but by that point, hopefully, the track should have cleared up. So let's have a look at the train that we're driving today. We're driving the 350, which is made by Siemens. Oh, we need some lights on here as well. Let's go back inside and turn those on. Not sure where the light switch is on this train. Oh, here we go. So we're doing day running. How are we doing for signal? It better not be red. That's okay. It's yellow. We're all good. So we'll just sort of coast a bit now because we're quite close to the next signal. We want some day running lights. Cancel that. Don't really need the cab lights because everything's fairly bright anyway. Okay, that's gone up to double yellow. So anyway, where were we? 2 yellows ahead. Oh, that's a yellow, and after that, I'm not sure. Probably looks like a red. Here's another train going past us. Another 350. Again, that's kind of the only traffic we're going to see on this scenario. I'm going to slow down now because the next one's a yellow, but the one after that is red. We do not want to be going through that red signal. Oh no, we might be alright now. Essentially, we're cruising into Rugby at the moment. We're just outside Rugby. So here's the train. Not a huge amount to say about it really. It's overhead voltage powered. There's a nice class 66 over there. Okay, well that's annoying. Of course you don't get to hear the AWS when you're not in the cab. God damn it. What a great start. Let's get going again. So he's likely to take our path now, which is a bit annoying, but that's alright, it'll just be passing through. So, God, he's got quite a lot of cargo there. What's he carrying? Looks like fake Tesco. So what's going on here? We've got a yellow light coming up and then a red one pretty much straight afterwards. Speed decrease, but we're not going fast enough for that anyway. We're just kind of chasing the reds at the moment. Looks like we're going to be changing tracks as well in a moment, so that might mean another speed decrease. So I'm going to prepare for that. Hopefully this rain will stop in a bit, because rain's no fun. Let's hit the brakes a bit for this track change. We will be stopping in Rugby as well, so we don't want to be coming too hot in for that. Warning us about the yellow light.
This is the limited stop service for calling Rugby, Nuneaton.
There's the announcement service which automatically activates. The scenario writer will have put triggers in on the track for that. Quite cool, IMO. So we're now coming into Rugby. No more signals until after the platform, so we're good to just head straight in. There's the station. So we can... I mean, we don't really need to change our braking much because we're already at 30 miles an hour, so that's a sort of reasonable speed to enter the station at, but we'll go a little bit slower than that. We of course, here's the bit where we change tracks, we of course need to make sure that we stop at the marker for 4-coach trains. Oh no, not 4-coach, sorry, we are an 8-coach train, so we need the 8-coach marker. So let's hit the brakes again. That was probably a bit hard. Where's our marker? Do we even have one? There we go, that's 4 and 5, so 8 must be on this post up here. So we're just cruising in. We are supposed to be here a minute ago, more than a minute ago. That's fine, that's just because I was being a bit cautious before and because we had that emergency stop. So we're going to be stopping at basically the end of the platform. Here's our marker, 8 to 10 car. And on our left, we are seeing another DRS class 66 going past. This is probably fine. Let's go here. Really, what we should be doing is lining up with this marker, but we're good here, so let's open the doors. So this marker is just badly placed. I mean, I'm not saying it's not placed there in real life, I just mean, ideally, you'd want a marker placed so that a train that's 8 or 10 coaches would be sort of central to this building. And I guess this is the stairs area, but this is the back of the train, so this should be way back over there. If this is the middle of, this should be lined up with the middle of the train. Anyway, let's get going. Again, that's not the fault of the scenario writers, that's the fault of whoever built Rugby train station. Well, I don't know how to trigger that, other than by pressing this button, which doesn't work. Oh, it does. Anyway, let's go. We're late, so let's get max power. Did we get any points for that? I can't remember. Green signal, perfect. Let's head off towards Crewe. Many red signals and then my green one. All good. So at this point you see there's a flyover. Now here is where the trains that are going to Coventry and Birmingham, they split off. So in this direction the train uses the track towards the left, which just curves off for us. We're obviously going straight under the flyover. And it's quite a high speed flyover. I think you can go through at pretty decent speed if you're on a Pendolino. Of course, this section is fairly new comparatively, and they've tilted the tracks and given it a good canted angle, so you can get some pretty decent speed through here. It's a 100 mile an hour limit, which is, you know, faster than a lot of lines in England, particularly in the south, which is where I'm from. Most of the lines around there are 90 to 100 if you're lucky, which is still pretty decent because a lot of the line's pretty straight down there. This one is pretty windy because it's a fairly new line. It's had to... Oh, another announcement. It's had to wind through a lot of countryside areas and go around a lot of towns and things. I feel like... Oh no, the fast line is actually on the outside on this stretch of track for some reason. Probably just due to track layout at Rugby, I don't know, but this inside line has a lower speed limit, and that'll be so that trains that can go fast don't mess up the timetabling, because if you had fast trains going along here, then they would just constantly be rear-ending all the trains, not literally rear-ending, but hassling from behind slower trains that are trying to get through. So the outside track allows the faster trains to overtake here. I doubt it's going to happen again because there's no Pendolinos simulated in this scenario, because the Pendolino is a paid DLC, so they can't expect everyone to have it. But I wish they had put some scenarios in that would only work with the with the Pendolino DLC. The other thing is the Pendolino doesn't actually come in a Virgin Trains livery when you do buy it, so you'd have to require the repaint as well, and it just wouldn't look realistic without Virgin. So I completely understand why they haven't put the Pendolino in. It's just a pain that that's how Train Simulator works, and I just kind of wish it was more customizable. The interesting thing is that there's actually a freight train on the fast line right now. So maybe I am on the fast line, but I'm pretty sure the fast line has a 125 speed limit, and that's not what we have. So we've got green light, he's going to have red, so we're going ahead of him. But we still need to decrease to 75 miles an hour for the upcoming speed restriction, which is where these two tracks join. So that's fine. We're now within the speed limit. Let's whack some power back on. There you go, there's the speed restrictions beginning. Because here this bit of track gets a bit tighter around the bend so that it can join with the other track. And then straight after the bend, you can see that the speed limit goes back up. Now I see why the speed limit's only 100 there. It's because we're not in an enhanced permissible speed train. Actually, in actual fact, I'm pretty sure we are, because it applies to any EMU, and this is an EMU. So I thought this was an EPS train, but perhaps that only applies to tilting trains. Either way, Train Simulator doesn't pick this up as an EPS train. I will at some point do a video perhaps of driving the Pendolino on this route, but it's kind of a bit rubbish because Pendolinos don't stop anywhere except Rugby on this route, so it would be kind of an open-ended video. It wouldn't really make much sense because I'd be starting at Rugby and just finishing somewhere. You can actually go up to Stafford, so I mean I could do a video up to there, but I wouldn't be stopping anywhere in between, so it wouldn't really make much sense. This video, on the other hand, I'm going to be doing a couple of stops, so it's kind of a bit more interesting. Well, depends what you call interesting, obviously. If you're not so interested in stations and stopping, and you just want to see a train moving at speed, then this isn't the video for you, I suppose. Got a decent level of AI traffic on this. Lots of 350s, lots of 66s. This is a busy line in real life. That's why they had to build this section of line to replace the original one that goes through Birmingham, which is also very congested. Sorry. Even though it's been replaced, it is now still very congested. And that's part of the reason for building High Speed 2, because even though that would only relieve congestion on the Coventry-Birmingham section division of the route, so it would take all the traffic going to Birmingham and make it purely for local journeys, which would improve things because then you could have more trains stopping and more high capacity trains. Currently the Pendolinos that are running are intercity, and they could sort of be replaced to some extent by High Speed 2 trains. Ideally you'd have High Speed 2 taking everyone to the north, and then you could keep the Pendolinos running from London, Watford, Rugby, Coventry, Birmingham, and that would sort of still work because a lot of the Pendolinos that go to Birmingham, there's one every 20 minutes, and I think one of them goes to Wolverhampton each hour, so that's already pretty much local traffic, so the Pendolinos won't really be affected, and the London Midland traffic won't really be affected. So actually, who knows whether this will alleviate much traffic on the West Coast Main Line, because there's still going to be a lot of trains doing that local traffic. It'll just be one or two an hour that won't be going up to Scotland and the north via that route. This section will also be affected, obviously, because a lot of the traffic on this route is Pendolinos going to the north and Scotland, and that traffic will largely be taken onto High Speed 2. So this line, I don't know what the future of it is. It could be just local traffic going to the north. When I say local, I do include Pendolino's high speed local traffic, but more local than going to Scotland from London, essentially. Not sort of short-ish journeys. This line will end up getting used to that kind of journey, whereas High Speed 2 will be for more 3 or more hours journeys. So we should be coming to our first stop soon. Also, I'm going way too slow. I could be going an extra 10 miles an hour faster. I'm already expected to be 30 seconds late. Don't want to be making that any worse. This train's maximum speed is 110 miles an hour, I believe. I think it can go slightly over that, but I mean, we can't right here. And I don't think the simulator's set up to allow a 125 speed limit for this particular train anyway. So I can't go above that without losing points. And it's all about those points. Anyway, if we check the map, that's not the map. And just sort of get through this section. If we check the map and put ourselves in the middle of it, we're actually coming up to Nuneaton now, and that's where I'm going to be stopping, so we need to slow down now. We're still 1.5 miles from it, but yeah, we're going 100 miles an hour. We want to be slowing down soon. I've never driven a train in real life, and when you do drive a train in real life, you have markers and you know the route. You get trained on where you need to start slowing down and things. Obviously, I've not had that training. There is a channel on YouTube. I can't remember the name of it, but there is a channel that specialises in proper route learning. I think it's PTG Rail. they make pretty decent videos on Train Simulator with real proper route learning, telling you where you need to do things like slowing down and explaining the landmarks along the route. They do a really good job, very thorough. So if you're interested in learning that kind of thing, head over there and look at their simulation videos, because they're very high quality. My videos won't be quite like that because I don't know the route, so I'm just going to be driving it like an enthusiast, an amateur. So apologies for that. If you're looking for high quality route learning, this is not the place to get it, because I definitely started braking at the wrong time there, but I don't know whether it was too soon or too late. And I think this is possibly too slow to be coming into the station. I may be wrong. So, I mean, let me know if you know better. Again, we're looking for that 8-car sign, because we are an 8-car train. I think it's over here again, so let's stop slowing down quite so hard right now. And as we approach the end of the station, bring some of the brakes back in. There's our 4 and 5-car signs. These signs at the end down here for the 8 and 10-car trains are more for the Pendolinos. Oh, here we go. Here's our 8-car marker. Just want to be really precise, just to make up for Rugby. But it's so difficult because the train just sort of slows itself down and stuff. That'll do. Cool. And there we go. Now this is more like it, because you see the centre of the train's a bit more well aligned with the centre of the station. I mean, it's not great, but there's clearance here. If we made some mistakes, then there's clearance for the back the back carriage to still be within the station. That's the main thing. A lot of people don't know that these number of car sign things exist, and they're actually really useful when you're on the station. If you want to know where you can get on the train, like where the door's going to be, get yourself near one of these and sort of try and envisage the train being in front of you. If you know where the doors are on the train, then you can stand roughly where they are, and you can look really cool. I mean, not cool, but I mean, cool. You can think you're cool. No one's going to agree, because train things generally don't tend to be cool. I know that all too well. But I mean, you can sort of think that you're kind of cool. I'm quite lucky because I've got friends who kind of are okay with me liking trains. Some of them even support me. I think some of them actually have been on train trips with me that they really didn't need to go on, and that's, you know, I just, if you're watching those friends, I'd really just like to thank you. Oh, we can turn our wipers off now. So off we go, there's another Class 66. There's kind of very bland AI in this, just because they could only use what they've included, because they can't require anything really. And they're trying to keep it realistic as well. So I mean, there's plenty of stuff that everyone's kind of got or comes with the train sim, but they can't just throw anything in willy-nilly. Class 66s genuinely do run along this route quite a lot. It's quite a busy freight corridor. And 350s obviously do as well. I don't remember whether these trains came with the London Midland logo. I think I added it on. If you Google, you'll be able to find it pretty easily. I can't remember exactly where I got it from. It's probably from UK Train Sim. If you don't know about UK Train Sim, check that out. It's a massive library of all sorts of repaints and mods and stuff for Train Simulator, and it's all free. There is the option of buying a subscription, which I usually have. It just allows you to get the faster download speeds. You don't have to wait in a queue, and it also allows you to do things like buy the CDs. I think you can do that anyway, actually, but I've bought CDs from them before. I know CDs are on the way out, but they sell a lot of routes. For example, the Dorset coast, which is sort of near where I live, the route from London to Weymouth, and that's really well made. It's getting a bit old now. It's for Microsoft Train Simulator rather than Train Sim 2017. Well, it was probably Train Sim 2013 when I bought it, but anyway, That was back in the day. Good, very well made route, and it's all made by just ordinary people who like trains and stuff. So we are more numerous than people believe, and you know, we're everywhere. We train people. And you don't have to love trains. You don't have to go spotting them. You can just know about them. You can look them up and enjoy having that knowledge just about stuff, really. I mean, if there's anything you could know about, a train's pretty good, because they're pretty complex machines, and they're imperative to. They've been instrumental in the development of our country and of other countries in the world. Because without them, I mean, we wouldn't have had the massive boom of industry that we've had over the last 100 or so years, because we wouldn't have been able to move stuff around. I mean, America particularly. America. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong button. America's had a massive advantage of having a rail network allowing it to transport its goods across from west to east coast. It takes ages. I mean, their network is a bit rubbish for passengers, but for freight you can pretty much take anything anywhere really, really cheaply. So America's really benefited from rail, and it's just a great thing to know about, because it teaches you so many things. In knowing about trains, I mean, I'm not a massive enthusiast. I don't go train spotting or anything, but my friends would believe that I do. But just knowing about trains, like for example, I was once interested in learning why these particular trains make the sounds that they do when they're departing and entering stations. And as I looked it up, I discovered all sorts of things about different types of motors, and DC and AC motors, and all sorts of electronic stuff. And I like computers and I like electronics, so that really appealed to me, and I learned quite a lot about that just because I was interested, and because I was like, well, that's some kind of funky noise that a train makes. I mean, most people wouldn't bother looking that up, because they're just like, nah, if I look up a train, if I look up something to do with a train, I'm going to be sad. My internet history is going to just look really sad. And, well, it's only sad if you are sad about it. I mean, why shouldn't you be interested in something like a train? What's wrong with that? I mean, sure, society thinks it's a bit weird, but why? It's a pretty clever thing, really. So, anyway, end of rant. Exactly. Ranting is exactly what I said I didn't want to do, but, I mean, I said some things that were a bit hypocritical in my last video, and I'd just like to apologise for that. I did try to cut out some of the rambling by cutting the video a bit, trying to keep it as short as possible, because there was a lot of just empty driving in that coach. If you haven't watched that video, it wasn't that high quality, so I wouldn't bother. But if you like F1, definitely watch Delta's videos. I need to turn my windscreen wipers on again. But don't bother with my previous one. It's just kind of getting a feel for making the video kind of thing. And this video, hopefully, I hope, is slightly a more high quality video. Eventually we'll maybe make it to our next station, which is, we're going via Lichfield, but I don't know where we're actually going to stop. We check the map and put ourselves in the centre again. That's not us, this is us. We're going to overtake another freight train in a moment, and then we're going to be overtaking another freight train, and then we'll be coming into Tamworth. Oh, we're not stopping. Are we stopping there? Who knows? We'll find out. Probably not. So, this maybe is Lichfield? No, that's not Lichfield. I'm pretty sure Lichfield has another platform on a bridge, because there's services going from there into Birmingham on the cross-city lines. So we'll know when we get to Lichfield. There you go, there's Lichfield up there. We're about to go through Tamworth, which also has a platform, has two platforms in fact, on a raised area. This is where the cross-country trains go from Birmingham towards Sheffield and Nottingham, and then here is where the cross-city trains, there's nothing really going up here apart from freight. And here is, speaking of freight, that train we said we were going to pass. Should we give it a honk? Well, that didn't sound very realistic. Now he's got to slow down because there's another freight train in front of him, which we're also going to overtake hopefully soon. With a bit of luck we won't be going onto its tracks, because that's the slow line. I don't know how we made it onto the fast line, but we did. And we're not doing too bad for speed. I mean, the Pendolinos only go 15 to 20 miles an hour faster than this, and they have to tilt to achieve it, so, I mean, to be fair, London Midland doesn't care that much about passenger comfort, else it would have slightly nicer seats and a slightly nicer carpet, but that is me being a bit spottery, so. Here we go, this, I believe, is Tamworth. So up there's the cross-country platforms, and then obviously these are the London Midland ones for the Crewe to London services, of one of which we are on, but we're on one of the fast ones. And soon, well, I think actually we've already gone past the opposite direction Crewe to London service, so that's fine. Eventually we'll make it to the next station. This is just quite a long drive. Lots of bends, as I was saying earlier. This, being quite a new line, has to curve around a lot of cities and towns. It's just got to... It avoids a lot of it, but there's a lot of nicely made track that's designed for high speed. So that's why we've got this tilting action, which is pretty cool. Lots of tilting, because as we go into this curve you'll see bending around there. Not really a lot to do while driving a train. It's a bit like a plane, but planes have autopilots, there's even less to do. No, that's not true. There is stuff to do, it's just less to control. And in a simulator, you don't really get the full experience because you don't get to do all of those extra things. So ordinarily, I'd have to keep my hand on the controls. Right now, my hand is completely away from the keyboard because I'm satisfied with my power setting. I should really be checking things and making sure everything's alright. I still haven't. Oh no, I have got my headlights on. We can set our destination, but the scenario has already done that for us. We get to enjoy a passing view of that train. Cool. And there's the lurker. We are heading straight for the north right now. It's just going to take a while, especially when we're not at the fullest extent of the speed limit. Of course it is a limit on a target, but when you're driving a train and you've got passengers on a timetable, it kind of is a target because it's how it's timetabled. Obviously freight trains are timetabled at a lower speed, but that's why they often run so early. They can run hours early sometimes. That's partly because they leave early sometimes, but also partly because they can actually go faster than they're timetabled for. But that's fine. Okay, now we're coming up on Lichfield. Again, we're not stopping there. We are an express service, but if we can see just how fast we're going with that really nicely made sound. I'm not so sure that this is how these trains actually sound. And also, I think the Class 390 Pendolinos also make very similar sounds. The sounds in this are kind of mixed and mashed with a bunch of different sounds from a bunch of different trains, so it could have been done better, but I mean, Train Simulator as a whole could have been done better, and it is going to be done better hopefully with the new oh, here's another train. With the new version, the Pioneers thing. Well, it's it's going to be called Train Sim World. It's going to be multiplayer, which I'm really excited about because I've kind of always been waiting for Train Sim to have multiplayer. I don't know why. I mean, I think it's because Euro Truck is just so good, and I feel like Train Simulator could be just as good. Just driving around and knowing other people are actually there, and when you see someone, it's just kind of honk at them. That's all you really do. I mean, it's not like you have much other interaction in Euro Truck. So actually, no. Some people do have big meetups, and there are big convoys you can do. People raise money on Euro Truck. I feel like we could do that on Train Sim as well. So we could, plug trains together and shit. You could have, you could have 4 people meet up in a 3-car train, plug them all together, and you've got a 12-car train. I know they really can't really do much separately, but they could all split up and stuff. I don't know. I think it would be fun. And I'm looking forward to seeing what multiplayer brings on Train Sim World. And obviously when there's more routes available for Train Sim World, because it's not even out yet. It's not even out for beta. And when it's out for beta, that'll be cool. I'm not going to get it because I'm not interested in Canadian freight, but some people are. That's fine. See how the beta goes when it comes out. Hopefully there'll be some more content on it. I'll give it a go then, and we'll see how it goes. Should be quite exciting. The other thing is they've completely changed the graphics engine for the new one. They're actually going to use Unreal, I think. So that's great, because the engine on this, as you can probably tell, is not particularly high quality. One thing I really don't like about the graphics engine on this, well, not necessarily the graphics engine, but the way they modelled the tracks, for example. Whatever you do, the tracks always have some kind of mound going on, so you can never have the tracks just actually embedded in the ground. They're always on some kind of raised area. That just really upsets me, because it's just not how tracks are. They're embedded in the ground. I don't want this dip in the middle. I don't want a trench between ground and more ground. It should be filled with ground. I don't understand why it can't be done like that. And the reason is because these tracks are completely separate and they're just laid like this, and then that's just how they're rendered. I don't like that. It just doesn't seem to make any sense to me. This train actually simulates neutral sections, which is sections where the overhead lines aren't powered, and that's because the transformer stations that are used for these. Nope. No smoking. The transformers that power these wires are pretty powerful and they can go a long way, but occasionally they still need to get boosted, as in the power needs to be boosted by another transformer, and when that happens you can't just plug it in, because it'll create issues with the supply, and with mixing frequencies and stuff, the frequencies change and it would just interfere with the equipment. So what they have to do is introduce a section where there is no current, so that you're not mixing the frequencies and the voltages and the current. So during that neutral section, these trains are built to turn off all of their electric supply. They've got some kind of battery on board, sort of uninterruptible power supply type thing, where it senses that there's no power. It knows it's a neutral section. It stops, because otherwise it would break itself if it was trying to draw power that wasn't there. Then it waits, and then when the power comes back, it turns back on again. And it's quite clever. It's quite good. Just the simple thing that you just learn by just going, what are these little signs with the gaps in them? What are they? Well, neutral section signs, it turns out. It's just interesting stuff that you wouldn't otherwise know. Where's our next station then? So we're all the way up here, and our next station is not until Stafford, so we're literally not going to be stopping again until Stafford. I need to cancel that. That's a yellow signal. We need to start slowing down a bit. I imagine we're just changing tracks soon. but you know, we want to be careful. Ah, no, that's not why. I imagine they're probably merging onto this track or something. Yeah, we've got a red coming up. We need to slow down faster than this. Okay, no we don't anymore, but that's okay. So now we're just waiting for this to go yellow instead of red. That's the sound of the compressor. Oh, it's turned off now. Okay, it's emergency braked me because I wasn't not moving. Oh, it wasn't even worth it. I haven't worked out yet whether I'm meant to use a lower power to start with. Some trains you're just meant to whack it onto full for acceleration. Obviously that affects passenger comfort, but like older trains, they're meant, I'm not sure. I think on older trains you're supposed to put it onto just full if you're planning to go and accelerate off. You're just meant to whack it onto full. Newer trains, I don't know. Do they manage it for you? So is it still the same? Who knows? Not me. Now, what does this sign mean? Probably means that I'm about to change tracks to the left. I've not seen one of them before. It's quite modern, so I imagine that's what it means. We do have an 85 limit coming up, which probably means an area with points, and then we have a 65 shortly afterwards. Yeah, so here we go, this sign on the right there, that said that we're cleared to the left, and in front of us we have a sign saying that we are indeed changing tracks to the left. And the yellow means proceed with caution because you're changing tracks, not because there's a train ahead of us. So this junction to the right, that goes up to Stoke-on-Trent. A lot of Virgin trains go up there, the fast ones, although some of them come this way. This is where the 4-track area ends. And we split off and go our separate ways from the fast intercity traffic. No, some of it comes up here as well, but a lot of it goes up via Stoke-on-Trent because that's kind of the fast route up to Manchester in the north. Trains that are going proper north don't actually tend to go via Manchester because there's a bypass. And a lot of them come this way or via Birmingham, although the track ends up meeting up anyway just outside Manchester. So we're nearly at the end now, almost. Got some tunnels coming up. I've never actually been on this section of route myself in real life. It's something, I guess for the bucket list. Is that too nerdy to say? I sort of have a train bucket list. Again, I don't go train spotting. I'm not a massive enthusiast, but you know, there's some journeys. It's not about the train. It's about kind of journeys that I like. I like travelling. I don't like being too far from home for too long, but I like travelling. It's familiar. And this is a journey that I haven't made. So at some point in my life, I'll do this journey. Maybe I'll find an excuse to go up to the north, the west of the north. If I was going to Edinburgh, it'd be easier to go by the east coast. And that's not necessarily on my bucket list, but I mean, there are, like the Eurostar, for example, is on my bucket list. Because I've done French fast trains, but I haven't done the Eurostar. Especially not the new Eurostar trains. One day I will. I have many different bucket lists. I don't see why we should all have one bucket list, because kind of there's different types of thing we all want to do. We don't all just want to do the same stuff. And I probably should have had my windscreen wiper off for a while, but it doesn't matter. Like, there's things I want to do with trains and transport, and one of them has always been make a YouTube channel for it, and of course I've done that now. But there's also places I want to go to and things I want to do, and they're all separate bucket lists, and things I want to do doesn't include this. It's kind of experiences I want to have, and it's just different. So I'm not sure why it beeped to me there, because we've got a green signal. Maybe there's a train just ahead. Maybe it was yellow and now it's gone green. Who knows? I know I need to start slowing down soon. Oh no, maybe I need to slow down sooner than that. No, we're fine. It's just a reminder that it's 90. But anyway, we do need to start making our way down to 75. I started a little while ago actually, because we are now coming to Stafford. So, I've not been to Stafford. I have a friend who's from Stafford area, but never actually been there myself. And I've never even been through it on a train, I don't think. I've been to the north a few times, but generally I go by car, so.
This is the limited stop service for.
This is where this train line and the rest of the West Coast train line connect. So this is kind of historically where the West Coast main line was, and this is kind of, oh no, I don't want full brake. This is where the two routes meet up. This is where this new section kind of ends. So that's why they've built this bit for Train Sim. What they've done for Train Sim is the new bit, the bypass. If you read up the history of it, it's quite cool. Well, I say cool. Cool in train terms. Unless you're into history of obscure things. The history of the West Coast Main Line may be for you. So we are about to move left onto this line next to this freight train. Not sure. Oh, we're pulling into platform 3. I feel like there should be a sign telling us what platform we're on. Maybe that's just Termini. So we need to be going down to 25 miles an hour now. Maybe a bit faster than that. Yeah, we're speeding a little bit. It's all fine. Oh, maybe we're not going left. Oh, who knows. The signal was just a bit vague. Another neutral section on the entrance to a station. That doesn't sound like a good idea. We're head to head with that other train. So again, we're looking for our 8-car marker. That's fine, just letting us know we've got a red light coming up. 4 and 5, there's the 8 one. So that's the one we're aiming for. And we are a little bit late, about 40 seconds late. That's fine. That's still better than Southern. Okay, and we come into the station, and we need to stop. Full brake, not necessary. And there we are. So, this is Stafford. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, let me know. I'll make more of this kind of video. This is the kind of video I want to make. Something where I just chat and drive a train or a bus or whatever. Maybe if it was just too long, let me know and I'll do another cut like I did with the last video. But otherwise, give us a thumbs up and a subscribe if you're feeling cheeky. And I'll see you in the next video.